Welcome. This class will be a seated chair yoga series. So you'll need a sturdy chair, something that does not roll, something that ideally has no arms. You'll see that my chair does have arms, but the arms only come about halfway. So it's just important for us to be able to move our arms freely without bumping into seat arms. So a kitchen chair is great. A folding chair would work as well if it is sturdy. Certainly not an armchair or an easy chair would be appropriate for this. But if you're in a wheelchair is great. And I invite you to find yourself into a comfortable seated position for our practices today. Taking a moment to acknowledge the land that I am blessed to live, work, and play on as the unceded territories of the Blackfoot people. I'm coming to you from here in Southern Alberta at Strathmore. And so this is a class specifically for remaining seated in our chair. So let's first come into a comfortable seated position. And what you can do is to scoot yourself back into your seat so that you are seated well and well supported. Now, not all chairs are built the same. You can see my feet actually don't really ground into the floor here. And if I were to really sink into the chair, my back would round. So I'm going to show you comfortable options to help make this more accessible. So I'm going to use yoga blocks underneath my feet. And you don't have to have yoga blocks. If you do need to put some height under your feet, you could use books, magazines, a folded blanket, some pillows, whatever you might have at hand. And when I go to sit into my seat, if I were to allow the chair back to support me, I would actually end up slouching slightly. But there's nothing wrong with slouching, but we don't want to slouch in our yoga practices. So if this is the case for you, please consider taking something like a rolled blanket, a throw pillow, a lumbar pillow, and placing it in behind your back. So depending on how big your chair is, even a hand towel rolled up can be really, really helpful to help you get seated comfortably. So your feet are grounded and you're able to rest into the chair back, but your pelvis is in a neutral position. So the pelvis is neither rocking under nor is it being pushed forward. It's like a neutral position. If you think of it like a bowl, the bowl here is keeping all of the liquid in it. Place your hands down onto your knees and allow your eyes to softly close or to rest them on a place down in front of you on the floor. Gently lengthening the spine, relaxing your face and shoulders, and coming into awareness of your breath. All yoga breath is done in and out through the nose, unless otherwise specifically directed. In these first few moments, breathing in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth can help us to release the stress from our days, but eventually allowing the breath to come in and out through the nose. Taking a few moments to bring in all of the pieces of the self that are often scattered in our day so that you arrive fully into presence. Let's begin with the three-part breath, the Derega Pranayama. So we have to have a bit of firmness below our navel. So we're sitting tall and the spine is lengthening. The pelvic bowl is neutral. The ribs are over top the pelvic bowl. The head is directly over top the ribs. Now place your left hand at the center of your chest. And your right hand is going to move with your breath. So we're going to breathe in lower, middle, and then upper lungs. And then exhale from the lower, the middle, and the upper lungs. So begin to follow your own breath with your hands. The pattern is always the same. Inhaling lower, middle, upper, and exhaling lower, middle, upper. Let's do this together for a few rounds. Releasing at the end of an exhale, letting your hands come down to your thighs, palms down. And let the breath come back into its natural rhythms. Let's begin with some warm up. So I'm now going to set my lumbar support just out of the way. And I'm going to encourage you to do as I'm doing, which is to move your sit bones to the edge of your chair. So I'm still firmly on the chair, but I now no longer sit deeply into the chair. And you'll see that my feet can now land easily to the floor. And we'll go through first the spinal warm up. So as you do this, you're going to connect to your breath. And as you exhale, the tail will curl under, the back will round, your gaze will come down, your fingers will reach towards your knees. Then inhale, roll the pelvis forward, lengthening the spine, arching the back. The gaze will come up gently. So exhale, curl the spine under, reaching the fingers forward on the knees to stretch the back. Inhale, roll the pelvis forward, squeezing the shoulder blades in behind you as you lift the gaze. Continue on your own, connecting to your breath and beginning to notice the sensations that are there in your back and anywhere else, any way else that you may notice sensations, feelings in your body. Inhaling to come back through to center. So the pelvis will be in its neutral position. The spine will be lengthening, shoulders dropping down the back, jawline gently drawing in. So we'll move through lateral flexion, inhaling to raise the right arm up into the air. Your palm will face in the direction of your face. Now, not everyone can raise their arms successfully, so some options are to place your hand on your head, your hand on your shoulder, or you can also remain with your hand on your hip. We're going to lengthen the right side of our body, tipping over to the left. Sit bones stay evenly weighted. And inhale to come back up. Exhale to release the arm. Inhale, lengthening the left side, tipping over to the right. Just continue on your own, inhaling up, exhale to release. Notice if the side body feels tight, maybe one side tighter than the others. And be mindful that you're not rotating and dropping the shoulder as you're moving, that you're staying as if in between two planes of glass. That's balanced from side to side. Come back through the center. And we'll move into some gentle rotation. So your feet are grounded, connecting with your breath. Inhale, twisting over to the right. So your left hand will come across the body, right hand will come to the chair. Exhale here. Inhale to bring the gaze forward, twisting around in the other direction, exhaling here. I can't stress enough how important your posture is in movement. So always begin from a neutral position, doing your best to sit tall and move mindfully. When that feels balanced from side to side, return yourself back into center. And let's exhale and bring our elbows to our knees, letting our gaze drop towards our belly. You might even find that you're comfortable to drop your hands to your feet and letting your nose drop towards your knees. Inhale to bring the hands up to your knees. Bring your gaze forward and rise up. Let's move through some gentle rotations of the ankles. So let's start with a point and flex of the right foot. So I'm placing my foot on my block just to make it a little easier for my leg to be extended out in front of me. Okay. Connect with your breath, point and flex, and feel the sensations in the right foot, ankle, and lower limb. Try to breathe as you move, roping the mind into the body. Take the toes around in circles. And go in both directions. Now place that foot to the floor and take a moment to notice if the tensions might be different in the right foot than in the left foot now. And we'll move the practice into the left foot. Point and flex the foot. Connect with your breath. Take the toes around in circles, noticing the different sensations as you take the toes around. Go in both directions. Bringing that foot back. Let's move into the wrists. We'll work both wrists at the same time. So with the fingers gently extended, roll the wrists around in circles. Connect with your breath. If you notice a lot of clicking and popping, maybe make the circle a little slower, a little smaller. Or in both directions. Reach the hands out and pull the fingers up as if you're pressing into the wall. And then point the fingers down as if you're pressing the backs of your wrists into the wall. Do this a few times. Releasing. We'll do this exact same thing, but this time with fists. So making a fist, take the fist around in circles. noticing the different sensations that are there, and go in both directions. With this, pull the fingers up into the air and then point them down. Do this a few times. And release the hands down. Let's move into the shoulders. So bringing the shoulders up towards the ears, exhaling, taking them back, sliding them down. Inhale to bring them forward and lift them up. So connecting your breath and your movement as you roll the shoulders around. And go in both directions. You might notice that one shoulder might be moving differently than the other. That's very normal. And our yoga practices help to restore a sense of balance and symmetry into the body. Coming back through to neutral. Make sure your posture is very good for this next part. So your pelvic bowl is neutral. Your ribs are over top. So this rib cage is directly aligned over top your hips. And then drawing the jawline gently in, lengthening the spine so your head is directly over top the torso. Now inhale, turn your head to the right. And exhale to turn your head to the left. Continue to do this a few times on your own. There's a lot of subtle information in the body as you do this. The pulling of the muscles of the neck and the skull. You might be able to notice them and try to move in this horizontal plane. Trying to notice when the different tensions in the body might pull the skull off the horizontal plane. And we want to try to not go so far into the movement that happens. Coming back through to center. And then we'll inhale to bring the gaze up and exhale to lower the gaze down. Let's continue on your own a few rounds. Keep length in the spine as you look up, so you're not letting the head drop back heavily into hyperextension. And coming back through to neutral as you are ready. So let's come into our first posture, which will be the forward bend. Now we want our forward bends to lengthen our hamstrings, to stretch out our glutes. So we're going to do two different forward bends here. So the first thing we're going to do is extend the right leg out and pull the toe up into the air, okay? So with this, it's important that we strive to keep our hips square and our sit bones evenly rooted, and to not move the knee into hyperextension. So keep just a little mini, the leg is straight, but we're not pressing back and dropping back down through the back of the knee. So this all by itself might be bringing a lot of sensation into the back of the leg. You may find that you have the room to begin to fold forward. So sitting tall, exhaling, start to hinge at the hips so the pelvis rolls forward. Your hand can support you on your bent knee. You're going to allow this sensation now, the back of the leg, the back of the hips, the length of the back is lengthening. Breathe into this sensation. Do not strain. Have effort, but do not strain in the effort. Inhale to rise up, bending the right leg, bringing the foot to the floor, and just take a moment to notice how the body might feel different from side to side. We'll extend the left leg out, pulling the toe up into the air. Now, be mindful to not hyperextend the knee, keeping a gentle knee bend. Lengthening the spine, sit bones evenly rooted. You don't even need to fold forward if there's a lot happening here. But if you have the room, the pelvis rolls forward, starting that forward momentum. Your hand can be supporting your body on your bent knee. Try to make sure the hips or the shoulders are staying square. And breathe here. Inhale to rise up, bending the left knee again and placing both feet to the floor. Noticing how that feels. We'll move into a really lovely glute stretch. So I'm going to show you two variations of this for different types of mobility and accessibility. So if you have a hip replacement or you're unable to lift your foot up to rest on your knee, the option would be to rest the heel or onto the side of the foot, and the leg will come to the outside. And you'll feel this nice stretch. And if you wanted, you could put some height under that foot, and you can move into something like this. So there's just a nice gentle stretch to the back of the hip here and to the inner thigh. Another option that is a bit of a bigger stretch, but it's important that we are honoring our body and not, because we could really tweak a knee if we tried to make something happen here. But if you were possible to place the ankle across the knee to come into this position, you notice I'm keeping a flexed ankle, and that just helps to strengthen my knee. And it also protects my ankle. Sometimes I'll see something like this, and that might overstretch the one side of the ankle a bit here. So you're either here in this position, here in this position, or here in something like this. Okay. Now, wherever you're at, this might be enough. Breathe and sit tall. And you can also explore if the pelvis can hinge forward. And you start to come into a gentle forward fold. And this will increase a lot the sensation in the back of the hip. This can be done here as well, or with your foot to the floor. Inhaling to come up. Release the leg down and take a moment to notice the difference between the two hips. And then we'll repeat to the other side. So your foot can either stay to the ground with the left knee dropping out. You could put the left foot up on some height, or you could put your left ankle on your knee. Notice how it might feel different from side to side, and honor your body's needs. If you need to set out differently on this side, that's just fine. This might be all that you need. Breathing here. You can also start a forward fold motion. The pelvis rocks forward, and we start to fold forward. You can support yourself on your thighs. Breathing here. Inhale to rise back up, and exhale to release the leg. Moving into a balance pose today. So how do we balance from the chair? We're going to do a balance pose that is similar to a plank pose, but this is an upward facing plank pose from the chair. So the way that this works is you'll take your hands to the chair behind you and make sure you're on your chair well. And you're going to extend your legs out and start to find a strong plank position. So I'm pointing my toes here, and I'm really starting to feel how my core is supporting me. So I'm leaning back, I'm using my core, and maybe, just maybe, I don't need my hands on the chair, and I could bring my hands forward. Feel how the core is working here. Breathe. Inhale to rise up. And a nice counter pose would be to fold forward, elbows to your knees, or even dropping your hands to your feet and letting your nose drop towards your knees. To come up from here, bring your hands to your knees. Inhale, bringing the gaze forward to rise back up. Let's repeat that one more time. So I'm at the edge of my chair. I'm taking my legs out, they're straight. I'm pointing my toes. My feet are to the floor. I don't know if you can see them in the camera angle here. I'm leaning back and I'm creating a long, strong line. So my belly and my core are working quite hard. You might need to keep your hands to the chair, or you might find that you can start to balance here in this position, breathing steadily. Either way, feel the effort of your core to hold you in this position. Inhale to rise back up, planting your feet to the floor, and then exhale, fold forward again into your preferred forward fold. Bring your hands above your knees, inhaling to rise back up. Let's move into a side bend. So this is a side bend variation of a pose called Parigasana, or the gate pose. So it's also a variation that's very similar to Parsa-Konasana, the side angle pose. So my sit bones are to the ground, and I'm going to take let's take the left leg out to the side. So my right knee is pointing forward. My left leg is now pointing out at a 45-degree angle. Okay. To move into the side bend, we're going to be turning towards the right. So I'm taking my body and I'm turning it away from my externally rotated knee. And then I'm going to make sure that we're tall. Make sure you're tall. And then lean over, and you can have your hand on your knee, or maybe your elbow comes to your left knee. You feel this big stretch through your sides. So wherever you're at, you could stay right here, hand on your hip, right hand on your hip, or you could raise your right arm overhead, reaching it and creating a long line in the side body. Breathe here. Feel the movement of your rib cage. These side bends are so wonderful for improving our breath capacity. Release the hands and use an in-breath to rise up mindfully. Bring your left knee back in line and bring your right leg out to the side. Okay. So both feet are firmly planted, but now the right knee is at a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to ask you to turn your body away from the right knee, tall. And then you could leave your hand on your thigh as you gently lean over. You might find you have the room to drop to your elbow. You can leave your hand on your hip, or you can reach over your head, palm is facing towards the floor, breathing here. Feel the movement of your ribs as you breathe. Feel the effort of your core to hold you in space. Releasing the hand. Inhaling to rise up mindfully. Bring your knees together. And let's fold forward again. Letting your head now drop down. So your elbows can be to your knees, but start to let your head hang heavy. Let's spend a couple of extra moments here upside down, if you will. Enjoying the sensation of being upside down. So many good things happen in the body when we are inverted. It's very soothing, brings a lot of blood flow into the face, the throat, the chest. And energetically, it flips us on our heads and reverses the aging process, or so yoga says. Bring your hands above your knees. Inhaling as you bring the gaze forward to rise back up. Finishing our last asana as a twist. I do love a seated twist here on the chair. So this one, cross the right leg over the left knee. Okay, so like we're sitting neatly at a table or the office. If this is not possible, so for those with a hip replacement or other reasons for not being able to cross the leg, you can cross at the ankles as well. Wherever you're at, it's the right leg or the right knee over the left or the right ankle over the left. Sitting tall, you're now going to place your left hand on your right knee, your right hand to the chair. Sitting tall as you exhale, twisting around. Your gaze will follow. If you have any neck pain, keep your gaze in the same plane as your chest. But if you are fine, you can follow the twist with the neck. Breathing here in the twist. Inhale to release the gaze. Exhale to release the pose. Take a moment. And let's switch to the other side. So you can cross at the ankle, or you could cross at the knee. It'll now be the right hand on the left knee, left hand to the chair behind you. Before you begin to twist, make sure your posture is neutral, your spine is long, firmness below the navel. Twisting around. Breathing here in the twist, finding the right amount of effort. So effort that is also easeful. Inhale to release the gaze. Exhale to release the posture. And we can balance out both sides of the spine with one more forward bend, elbows to the knees if you like, or hands coming to the feet. Taking a few breaths here. Inhaling to rise back up. Okay. It's now time to relax, which is an essential component to integrate the practices in our body. If you have the ability to lay down on your bed, on the couch, on the floor, I invite you to do that. If you choose to remain seated in your chair for relaxation, make sure that you're able to get nestled in. So once again, for my own seat, I'm going to raise the floor and put my feet on my blocks. I'm going to tap a bit of support in behind me so that I am able to really be well supported, able to rest into my chair. Your hands could rest on your knees. And you can let your eyes gently close. Become aware of the flow of your breath as you begin to relax your body. Let yourself be fully supported by the chair. If you're laying down, let yourself be fully supported by whatever you are laying on. Come into awareness of your breath, noticing the energies of your body and mind. Bring your mind all the way down into your feet and consciously relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax your calves and shins. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs. Relax your hips and your glutes. Relax your whole pelvis. Relax your belly. Relax your chest. Relax your fingers and your hands. Relax your wrists and your forearms. Relax your elbows and relax your upper arms. Relax the front and the backs of your shoulders. Relax the tops of your shoulders. Relax your neck and throat. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue and your cheeks. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Relaxing your eyes. Relax the muscles around your ears. Relaxing your ears. Relax the back of your head. And relax the crown of your head. Relax your forehead. Relax your whole body. Relax your mind. Enjoy the sensation of relaxation. Remaining here as long as you wish. I pray this yoga class serves you and blesses you. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.